Breaking news coming in there. CBI has conducted searches at 7 locations in Mumbai. The search locations are that of Chairman Naresh Goyal, Jet Airways former Chairman Naresh Goyal, in an alleged bank fraud case amounting to 538 crore rupees. We are told that his wife and other accused in the cases are also being searched, and their locations are currently being searched. Remember, this comes as a fresh blow for Naresh Goyal, who is already reeling under the loss of his CEO designate position, Rakesh, at Jet Airways. Jet Airways not reviving there, but it looks like CBI is now cracking down on Naresh Goyal.
Well, I mean, Mr. Naresh Goyal has been under the shadow for quite some time. He's, being probed for his role at Jet Airways and a few other financial alleged irregularities.
Okay.
But it shows that the air turbulence ghost is now also catching up with people who've been running airlines. So in that sense, there are problems, and the problem with most of the airline companies is that their relationship with the banks and their ability or inability to pay up and take that is also turned into a big NPA. So I guess in case of Jet, the debt would be a challenge, and inability to service that debt, we don't have the full details yet.
Absolutely.
Would probably be a reason for going after Mr. Goyal and his family.
Okay.
But it's not the first time that he's been come under the radar of these agencies. So in that sense, it could be part of an ongoing probe which has taken the next step forward.
Also tanking the possibility of any revival for Jet Airways. We don't know where the future of Jet Airways stand at the moment.
I mean, there are challenges. as we keep saying, we are back to a monopolistic situation in the airline area. We have Indigo with about 55% market share, which will now probably increase with Go First going down, suspending its operation. So in that sense, that is 55% market share for one player, and then Air India and Tata's put together 7 and 5 or 8 or 5, 13-14%. So in that sense, not having sufficient players to drive and cater to, in this case, not even drive, the ever-growing growth in the aviation sector, in the civil domain, is India's tragedy too, I would say.
Okay.
And tragedy of the aviation sector.
Absolutely, tragedy of the aviation sector. In fact, we discussed at length the tragedy of aviation sector, which is not able to have the similar sort of momentum as it expects on paper.
Shweta, I had written a piece in 2019, and I had recalled right from East West Airlines, which was the first private airline. In early 90s, India opened up what we call the open sky policy, which enabled entry of private airlines, and East West Airline was the first, airline in that space. It held a lot of promise. Unfortunately, again, the same problem with the bankers, credit, debit, and then, rivalry. Unfortunately, the promoter was killed in Bombay. He was assassinated. And its own financial woes, and then the woes of the promoters and that assassination, put a lid on East West Airline.
Right.
And then Modi Luft, somehow, as and when there is a potential of the skies really brightening up, with many more players coming in and catering to the growth that has happened post-pandemic, as we imagine and we keep repeating at our show that India's civil aviation growth story is really sitting on a huge potential piece. But are there enough players? Is there enough support from the ecosystem to partake of that story? In that sense, yet another setback, if what we are hearing is right.
Okay.